Is it really already time for a new Clifton? Good morning, YouTube. What's up, everybody? I hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. So today's video is special because the first version of this shoe, the original, the OG, the one that everybody went crazy over, is basically what started my obsession with running shoes. Now, before I had tried this shoe back in 2014, I was running in pretty standard running shoes. I had, the ASICS GT 2000 or 1000, whatever it is. And those were good shoes. They racked up the mileage, but they weren't just wow. They didn't wow me underfoot. And until I tried this shoe, I didn't know that I could be wowed by a running shoe. But when I tried that Hoka Clifton one for the first time, took it out for my first run, I realized that yes, you can be wowed by a running shoe. And apparently I'm not the only one who was wowed by it, because it sort of set off this entire max cushioned craze, because now finally we could have running shoes that had a ton of cushion underfoot but were also very lightweight. But anyway, here we are now in 2021 on the 8th version of the Clifton. I think it's also fair to say that this shoe has really changed over time. No longer is it that super lightweight, minimal upper with the really plush cushioned midsole. I mean, it's sort of like that, but it's not quite the same. So we're not going to talk about what the Clifton once was. We're going to talk about what it is now, and that is a fairly lightweight, moderately lightweight daily trainer that is max cushioned. I have about 10 miles in the Clifton 8, so I think I'm ready to give you my first run impressions and also do some comparing to the Clifton 7. Let's watch the running footage and then we'll talk all about the details on the Clifton 8. Before we get started today, I do want to let you know that the Clifton 8 was sent to me by Running Warehouse and Hoka. However, neither company is going to see this before you. They can't tell me what to say. I'm not getting paid to make this video, and all of my opinions are my own. According to Hoka, the Clifton 8 is 7.2 ounces for what I believe is a women's size 8. And for my size 10.5, the shoe came in at 9.2 ounces, which I also weighed the Clifton 7, and that came in at 8.8 ounces for me. So we are gaining a little bit of weight here, it seems. The Clifton 8 has a 5mm drop. And as far as being true to size goes, I'm not going to give it to them here. I do think that this shoe is a little bit long in the toe box area for me. I probably could have benefited from a half size down. It's pretty iffy. But yeah, this is just another case of a Hoka shoe that the sizing isn't quite right. If you can try this out in your local running store, I highly suggest that you do, because the sizing is kind of all over the place. The upper of the Clifton 8 is an engineered mesh. I didn't find it to be particularly breathable. I did take it out on a pretty hot day and I wasn't feeling too much air passing through that toe box. In the midfoot, we don't have a ton of overlays, although we do have a gusseted tongue here that does help with lockdown across the midfoot. And if we move to the back of the shoe, we have a redesigned heel tab that Hoka is saying is a bit extended for easier entry into the shoe. And the heel counter is pretty sturdy to keep you locked in place. Yeah, so like I said, this is not a very breathable shoe in my experience, at least. And looking at it a little bit closer, I think the reason for that is the engineered mesh is kind of double layered. There's like the top layer that you can see, and then under that, where you would have like the ventilation holes, we have some more mesh or some kind of material kind of like blocking those ventilation holes. So obviously, yeah, it's not going to be super breathable in that case. The Clifton 7 wasn't the most breathable shoe either. I think that the Clifton's uppers have gotten less breathable over time, but it is something that I did want to make sure that I mentioned because we are heading into the summer months in some parts of the country and world. As far as fit goes, I did talk about how I feel like I have a little too much room in the toe box lengthwise. Widthwise, it might be slightly wider than the Clifton 7. I can't really confirm that. It feels maybe a little bit wider on foot. The tongue of the shoe is gusseted, like I said, but it is also a little bit more built up than the Clifton 7, just with more padding. Feels slightly more substantial. And I think the same can be said for this heel counter area. There's just more padding. It's a little bit thicker, more substantial. It's not something that I thought needed fixing, but apparently somebody thought it did because they changed it for this version and it's just a little more. I think the more padding we're seeing and the more maybe like sophisticated upper from the 7 is what's causing the extra amount of weight here in the shoe. Hang on, let me get something. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the Clifton 1. This is a size 10.5. This is the Clifton 8, size 10.5. Look how different they look. But anyway, let's weigh this and just see how much weight this shoe has gained over time, shall we? Here's my scale. All right, putting the shoe on the scale. Oh. This 10.5 size shoe is 7.7 ounces. This, 9.2 ounces, tipping to 9.3. Every year it seems like the Clifton just goes up in weight, and this is your proof. But with all that said, the upper of the Clifton 8 is pretty comfortable. I guess because the materials are a bit more premium, it does feel nice on foot despite the lack of breathability. And I had no issues with hot spots, blisters, or irritation in the Clifton 8's upper. So, I mean, I don't love it. It's fine. I don't feel like these changes are worth the weight gain. Okay, on to the midsole. Hoka has thrown in a brand new EVA compound here for the Clifton 8's midsole. They say it's one of their lightest and most energetic foams to date. And there's also an early stage meta rocker here, which is a rocker technology that is supposed to help you get up on your toes and just roll you forward into your next stride. Something I've noticed with Hoka's recently is that I feel that meta rocker technology less and less and less. I really don't feel it in the Mach 4, which is unfortunate because that is one of my favorite shoes and I feel like it would just benefit so much from a little bit more of a prominent rocker. I didn't really feel the rocker tech in the Clifton 7 either, and I do not feel it here in the Clifton 8. In fact, if you hold the shoe this way, you can't really even tell that there is a rocker technology. So yes, this shoe does feel a little bit flat to me underfoot. That being said, it's not all negative. If you love the plush ride of the Clifton and you love the 7, and that's just like your trusted shoe, then you're gonna feel right at home here and you're gonna really like the way the foam feels underfoot. I don't feel a huge difference with this new compound than I did in the Clifton 7. I'd say that they feel pretty similar underfoot. Perhaps this is a little bit more responsive. I do think this is gonna check the boxes for a lot of people who are looking for just a soft, reliable daily trainer that they can take on their moderate distance runs, their super long distance runs. We know the Cliftons can hold out on those for sure. In fact, I ran my first marathon in the Clifton 1 and that's when it was a lot more bare bones than it is now. So there's no doubt in my mind that this could handle marathon distance and marathon training. And in fact, it might be my go-to for Chicago marathon training, who knows? I did do some strides while I was running in the shoe, and while it certainly wouldn't be my first choice, it didn't do as bad as I had anticipated. So if you are doing a run where you just want to throw in some quick little bursts of energy here and there, yeah, I think it can handle it. I do think that this midsole, even with their new compound that they're using, will last you hundreds and hundreds of miles. Cliftons are pretty good for that, and I don't think that this new material they're using will be any different. And I forgot to mention this earlier about the upper, but I do think that because the materials are a little bit thicker, I do think that it will be more durable. But back to the midsole, I do think that Clifton lovers are going to still love the Clifton 8. It's that soft, plush feeling that we're familiar with. I just don't feel like it's as exciting as it used to be, which I know I'm trying not to get stuck in the past, but there are a lot of shoes like this now, which makes it a little bit harder for the Clifton to have that crazy wow factor that it used to, if that makes sense. And I really wish they would do something to improve this Meta Rocker technology. If we turn the Clifton 8 over, you'll see that Hoka is using their high abrasion rubber here. They've switched up the pattern from the 7 and they've added a little bit more rubber, which probably also contributes to the weight. But the pattern that they're using here kind of goes in a diagonal direction, dips into the midfoot a bit. We still have some exposed EVA there and some more rubber in the heel. So the patterns on these two shoes are different for sure. They're similar also, but a little bit different. Looks like they have added some more rubber, like I said, to increase durability. I had no issues with traction in the shoe. Again, it was a pretty dry day when I took it out, but I didn't feel any slipping on dirt, sand, grass, what have you. And yeah, I'm interested to see if this outsole holds up any better with this new traction pattern. The Hoka Clifton 8 is available for pre-order on runningwarehouse.com for $129.95. Pretty standard Clifton price, fair if you ask me. And if you're interested in picking up this shoe, just go to the link in the description of this video, click that link and pre-order your pair or pick up your pair, depending on when you're watching this video. Keep in mind, this link is affiliated with Running Warehouse. However, that doesn't mean much for you. It just helps out my channel so I can review these shoes and compare them and wish that they had stayed like the first version. So yeah, despite the fact that I kind of gave this shoe a little bit of a hard time, I do like it and I will be running in it quite a bit, I'm sure, especially for Chicago Marathon training. Just nothing works for me as well usually as a Clifton does, so me and the 8 are going to be spending a lot of time together, or at least I think. Depends what else comes out on the market before then. But yeah, I think if you're a Clifton lover, you're going to love this. Not much different. And if you are looking for an entry into max cushion shoes, this is a pretty good option. Well, that concludes my first run impressions of the Hoka Clifton 8. If you enjoyed this video, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit the notifications bell down below so you can find out every time I upload a new video. I have another video for you next week, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like heller. See you next time. What are you doing? Oh no. What are you doing? See you? Say hi to your friends. Say hello. Hello, friends. Say hello, friends. Say I want to go play, but we can't play until I finish, okay? Give a kiss. Give a kiss. Thank you. Huh?